I don't have those access. From our team, Ujjwal and Pramod, these are the two people for whom my access was requested. And most probably next week we'll be doing it for Alok. The L4 resource will be joining this project next week. So as on date, I guess Pramod and Ujjwal, they are the one who have access.
Okay, your access approved. Noted. Right. Gautam, if you want to join the other meeting, you can join.
Yeah. One thing before that, yesterday Ujjwal said that he can't be there, right? So Indal Kar will join today.
Yes,
Right?
I'm just checking with him.
Yeah, just ask him to join this call since Ujjwal is not there.
Yeah.
Hi, Sugam.
Hello everyone.
Hi, Sugam. Hi, Sachin.
Hello.
Hi, hello everyone.
Sachin, so today we need to give the overview of the Sectigo. So
I'll
if you
start with
can
the recording.
yes, you can start. So Sachin, if you can share your screen and we can proceed with Sectigo today. So it is not a big session. Actually, I'm not able to log in into Sectigo. Don't know why. And also that I want means I'm still facing the same issue, Sachin, while logging into the server. Are you able to log in?
No, it's the same issue for me as well.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Sectigo portal. I've logged into it just now. So here you can see this is the section where you can see the different types of certificates, that is SSL certificates, client certificates, and code signing certificates. So code signing certificates as of now, this has not been used. I mean, from operations point of view, we have not yet issued any code signing certificate, and we have not received any request as well. So the only two certificates that have been issued is SSL certificates, and again SSL certificates is as you know, it's from the automated way. Only when we need to intervene and need to issue it manually, we will be doing it from here. And for client certificates, we have to always issue it from Sectigo itself. And another activity is related to domain control validation. So at times, whenever a specific domain is not validated and a user is trying to raise the certificate request, SSL certificate request for that, so it will trigger an automated incident via ServiceNow. We'll receive an incident, and it will let us know that we need to perform the DCV, that is domain control validation activity for that specific domain. Only once the domain is validated, that user will be able to request the certificate for a specific domain. So we'll look into these activities that we perform from Sectigo. So let us check the domain control validation activity first. So let me show you. So if you go to the domain section, we have this option to add a new domain. If you click on this, it will allow us to mention the domain name. So let me show you. Let me take one of the examples. Let me take this panadol.hr. Or let me take helium.com itself. So I'll just search for the domain name. So right now I just searched with the helion.com and it is showing that the status for this one is validated. So if someone is
Mhm.
requesting any certificate with, let's say, xyz.helion.com, that certificate would be issued. But let us say that
Okay.
helion.net is not validated and someone is requesting a certificate for that, then it will create an incident mentioning that DCV needs to be performed for helion.net.
Mhm. So basically, this is domain registration with Sectigo.
Yeah, correct. And
Okay.
it is done via CNAME. So let us see the steps.
Or DNS text record
Yeah, yeah,
with the random value what Sectigo will provide you. You need to create
yeah,
a single.
yeah, correct. So
Okay.
I'll show you the process for that as well. Let me see if I have a documentation because I won't be able to mention any random name and go ahead. Ah, s-
Uh, okay. Because usually every public certificate provider they
mhm.
have this process.
Yeah, right.
So now what kind of certificate are we issuing? Domain certificate from Sectigo.
Sorry, what kind of?
Certificate like say if I consider example of global sign, they have got different types of certificate which are like
Yeah, I think I mentioned that in.
organizational.
Yeah, I mentioned that first point. So there are two types of certificates that we are managing from Sectigo, that we are issuing from Sectigo. So one is SSL certificates and the other one is client certificate. These are the only two types of certificates.
Okay.
There
Now
is code
within
signing
SSL,
certificate. Yeah.
okay, within SSL, do they have further bifurcation or is it just SSL?
No, it is just SSL. And within SSL, I guess there are two different types. So one is for multi-domain SSL and one is for a single domain SSL.
Okay.
Right. So I'll
When you
come
say
to that point. I'll come to that
okay,
point. So that would be covered. Yeah. You have anything, any other query as well?
no, I mean in terms of validating a domain, now
Mm,
based on the kind of certificate that will be used, or say organizational certificate or extended validation certificate. Now, uh, validation of those domains when we are trying to add or when we are trying to revalidate existing domain, that happens. One
mhm,
is like you just create a DNS record and that will be validated.
mhm,
But then there is one more which is called as extended validation, where after this technical step, they call up the authorized person from the organization to that is usually a tele verification that is done.
mhm.
So is it something that sort of thing followed for Sectigo?
Yeah, that is the same process. That is the same
Oh,
process.
okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So just have a document. I'll just show it to you from here because I won't be able to mention any random name and go ahead.
Yeah, I understand that.
So let me zoom in a bit so that it will be clearly visible. Okay, right. So we are at this stage right now where we mention the domain name. Click on plus and add the domain name, and we select these all these three. Although, as I mentioned, that code signing certificate is still not being used operationally as of now, but as per process, we are selecting all these three so that in future, whenever there is this comes in picture and we need to issue code sign certificate, so that we don't need to again do the same steps for all the domains. So we select all these options, SSL certificate, plant certificate, and code signing certificate. Click on save. On the next step, we
Uh,
select, yeah.
on screen, I still see create domain. Are you sharing any other document?
I have opened a document called DCV validation process. Are you able to see a Word document?
No, it just shows create domain certificate manager.
Oh, okay. I guess I have shared only the browser. Let me share my whole entire screen. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yeah, now it's visible. Thank you.
Yeah, so on this step, once we add the domain name, at the bottom we have to select this checkbox, wherein it will select all these three types of certificates. We'll click on save. On the next step, we'll click on validate, and here we'll select the DCV method as CNAME, and then click on next. It will provide us this value, CNAME value, and we have
Mhm.
this type of table where we need to fill in this details, because this needs to be shared further to us different team, that is the network team or DNS team, you can say. So we fill these values. Domain name would be entered here in the first column, domain name. Second column is validation type, that would be CNAME. Record is let me show you an example at the bottom. I guess we have, okay, anyways, I'll see one of the examples and I'll add it to that share point later on. So from here in this snapshot, you can see there is a record value which comes after the CNAME part. You can see till the dot. So that is the record value,
Mhm.
and the latter part after that dot is the target. So these values will be filled in this Excel sheet which we create with these column names, and we keep it handy. And the next step is we'll be let me go back. So another important step to remember over here is, at this step we can see there's it is mentioned that we need to click on submit, right? So we should not be clicking on submit, because one issue that we have noticed with Sectigo is that if you click on submit at this stage, like before that domain has been actually validated in the back end, you can say it is still not
Mhm.
validated, right? If you just click on submit now, and later on once the DNS team confirms to us that the value has been added, and later when we check, ideally it should get automatically synced in the background, and the status should be validated for the domain, but that is an issue that we have observed Sectivo. It doesn't happen. So as a workaround, what we were being suggested by Sectigo is that we should not be clicking on submit at this stage. Keep these details handy and share it to the team. Once the team confirms to us that they have updated the records on their side, then we need to click on submit later on, and then it gets validated.
Okay.
Okay, so that issue happened to us, and we had to do all the work again for almost like 400 500 domains, and we got it to know later. So it was double work for us. So just to let you know, right? So next step is, once we have those details, we share that to this we just check with the user initially, basically the user who have raised the request to us. So we check with them if that specific domain is managed internally by Helion, or is it any third party vendor managed domain. If it's a third party vendor managed domain,
Mhm.
then ideally this CNAME update should be done at their end. If it is managed internally by Helion, then we'll be raising a ticket to the DNS team, a request, an RITM request to get the CNAME records updated.
Excuse me. Okay.
So here is the process for that, and we have also shared the link from where we raise this ticket to the DNS team. Like we just mentioned, if this domain is external, internal, and we, as I mentioned, we have an Excel sheet where we mention those details. So that Excel sheet is attached to the ticket.
Okay.
Right. So once the team does the activity from their end, they will let us know that domain is validated. And as an additional check, what we do is, because sometimes what happens is the network team will tell us that it has been validated, but if we just directly go to Sectigo and click on submit, but let us say there's some issue from their end and it was not updated correctly, then again what happens is this status will go into action required. I mean, it will be submitted, order status will be submitted, the status will show as action required, but since in background it is not actually updated, this will get this will get stuck over here. So we have to ensure that it is actually the DNS records are actually updated. So for that, what we do is we check on web. You can, I guess you would be aware that there are multiple tools which we can use to check. So one of those is this DNS lookup by Google itself, Google admin toolbox. So if you go to this tool, we can enter the record value over here, and we can see if it reflects that target value, a specific target value. In that case, which will confirm that the records have been actually updated. And after that, we will go to Sectigo portal and click on submit, and the status will be shown as validated correctly.
Okay.
So this is the process for DCV.
Okay.
So any questions on this process?
No, this should be fine.
Okay. And the next thing is SSL certificates. Okay, before coming to SSL certificates, let me talk about client certificates. So for client certificates, since it is issued to a specific user, so we need to add the user first. So you can see there's an option called as persons over here. So if you go to persons, there's an option to add. Click on add. Organization name will be highlighted. It will be selected by default. Department, we can keep it as none by default. Uh, Domain name would be halion.com. I don't know why it is taking this randomly. Because ideally this will be associated with the user's email ID, and all email IDs will be obviously halion.com only. So domain name, you have to select halion.com, provide the personal information of the user, first name, last name, email ID of the user, and click on next. Let me at this stage, common name, again we can keep it same as the email ID only. Validation type would be standard by default. No other changes on this stage. Click on save. So my email ID, my details are already present. Let me go to the document if we have. Yeah, common name would be the email ID. Validation type is standard. Okay, sorry, validation type we should be selecting as high, which is something that was changed from Sectigo recently. So earlier it was standard, and recently they have introduced this, wherein for SMIME purpose also this validation would work. So we selected as standard high identity validity for SMIME sponsored enrollment. That is what we will select, and then click on save. In the next step, add new person, we redirect to list of persons. Yeah, this is the next step. So once we click on save, we will see that person and all the details that we have added. After that, we have to click on edit, like select the username checkbox, select the checkbox, click on edit. And once we see this page, we click on enrollment invitation tab. Now we'll need to provide the select the client certificate web form. There is an option at the, yeah, in this you can, once we click on save, once we select enrollment invitation, there is this invitation option you can see. Click on that plus icon over here and it will show us this page, this pop-up basically. And in this pop-up, we'll have to select this enrollment endpoint as client certificate web form. Account, we'll have to select Halion client certificate and click on send. So what this will do is it will send an enrollment invitation email to that user, and along with all the steps that user needs to follow on their end to request the certificate or basically download the certificate from their end directly. So
Okay.
this is a sample email that, let me open this document application. And let me do one thing. So there is this enrollment email is not there over here. What I can do is let me remove my user ID and add it again. Can do that.
And any approval is required while adding user?
No, no.
Okay.
Where is my name? Just showed my name is already added, but I'm not able to see it.
You can try adding Ujjwal
Okay.
if
So if we have to see that enrollment email, then usually is not over, not here, right? So we won't be able to see that.
okay. Okay.
So that is what I wanted to show, how the enrollment email looks like. Oh, but it showed my name is already added. Okay, here is it. Let me delete my. Right, so I'll just do this process for myself. Alien.com. Validation type will select as high. Click on save. Once the name is visible, select, click on edit, go to enrollment invitation, click on this plus icon, enrollment. Okay, so all these values are selected by default, as you can see. And if you click on send, it should trigger an enrollment email. So it shows the timestamp when the email was sent.
Okay.
Let me see if I have received the email. Not yet. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the type of email that the user will receive. You have been invited to enroll for a certificate. To start the enrollment, click on the below button. Alternatively, you can copy this link and paste it into your web browser. Right, so once they click on this, they will be presented with this page. So that we select this and then click on submit. Right? They can provide a password and then download the certificate.
Okay.
So this is the process basically for client certificate. Okay. Now let me see about the SSL certificates. Right. So for SSL certificates, if we have to issue it from this portal, there's an plus icon over here. If you click on that, it will ask us different methods. So the one we will be using is using a CSR.
Mm-hmm.
So the user will definitely provide us the CSR for creating the certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here is the option where we have to select the type of the certificate. Now, ideally for wildcard, as you know, if the domain name has an entry, you would be aware that if any entry starting with asterisk dots anything, so that is a wildcard certificate.
Yeah.
So for those purposes, we would be selecting the wildcard. But again, for wildcard, we won't be issuing it directly. They have to provide a valid business justification. We have to go to Lucas with that justification. Once there is an approval, we can then proceed further. For
Okay.
any other common domains, the only two options is Enterprise SSL Pro, and the other is the last one, Sectigo Unified Communication Certificate. So
Okay.
Enterprise SSL Pro is for a single domain certificate, and if it's a multi-domain, we'll have to select this Sectigo Unified Communication Certificate.
Hing आ गई ना?
Certificate term would be 1 year by default. Notification email, we'll have to ask user which all email IDs need to be notified for the certificate expiry emails in future. So all those emails that would be shared by the user need to be mentioned over here.
Okay.
And then once you click on next, on this next step, we will be uploading the CSR file.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, it is asking me for a CSR. Let me upload any test purpose. If you click on next, it will present the common name that is there mentioned in the CSR. It will present the common names, domain names. Once we click on next, it will ask for auto renewal, but we should not be doing it because as per process, we haven't heard from Lucas that we should be enabling this. So ideally, if the user needs to renew it, he has to go through that new certificate request process again.
Uh,
Right. And if you click on OK, this certificate would be issued.
okay.
So these are the
And
activities.
again,
Yeah,
and we will be providing this certificate to the requester, right?
correct.
Okay. And these requests, do they come as a service request or
Yes.
just an email?
At times, if the user is aware of the service now, then they would be raising it from the RITM. But yes, mostly we receive it as an RITM ticket in service now. But at times, if they are not aware of the service now process, or let's say they are not aware of the CI catalog IDs and all, from where they need
Uh-huh.
to raise that request, they would be dropping us an email. So
Okay.
at that point, we can tell them the process, how they need to raise the request, and they can raise the request for that purpose.
Okay.
So these are the activities that we do from Sectigo from operational point of view. So Sugam, anything else you want to add over Sectigo here?
Oh no, so this is all. Means everything is covered from Sectigo part. And also there is one update, as Lucas mentioned, though. So means your access to FUX and Sectigo will be approved once you have some shadow support. Before that, he's not going to approve. So you need to work, and we'll share if we receive something. So you need to be available on Teams, and we will involve you once we
The
receive
voice
any.
is breaking for me.
So we'll
Is it the same for
involve.
everyone?
Is it
No,
fine, Sachin?
I guess Sachin, it's at your end.
Okay, so the thing is
Oh,
that
okay.
we'll involve you if we receive anything related to Sectigo or NAPUX, and
Okay.
thereafter means you can get access to both the portals. Sachin, can you please share that kitty tracker? So we'll mark the items
And
completed which are pending.
and also, are there different level of access to this particular portal?
Oh, no, no. We are
Uh,
having the same access, same level of access. Only Lucas is having the elevated access. And
Okay.
me and Sachin means the operational folks, which will be supporting Lucas in the operations, will be having the same access.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Because
Lucas on.
usually public certificate provider portal, they have different level of access. One is for
Yeah, it is
administration,
also
the
here.
other one is
So
for.
means on operations front means we'll be having same access, and Lucas being the product owner, so he'll be having elevated access from us. So Santosh, we have covered that part. I mean, Saktigo is also covered today, and Sachin explained it very well.
Yeah. Thanks, Sachin.
So we are done with most of the KT, and now only that incident management and change management thing left. So we'll cover this as well going forward. Mm, so we'll involve you, and you will be getting access. So if you get the access to the Go Anywhere, till the time you can explore that portal and get back to us if you have any query.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. So that's
And
it for today, Santosh, from
yeah,
Sectigo end. So we have covered almost everything. From PKI point of view, we have covered FQX, Sectigo, and Go Anywhere along with MSPKI. Okay.
and
Yes.
Shubham, this vendor support, shall I mark this as completed as well? Because I think we have
Yes, we
covered
have
this.
already shared the link. Yep.
Interest is not there, right? So,
Yes, yes, and trust you can left. Yeah. And so Santosh, if we got
interest,
anything,
I guess, is only being used for HSM.
so that we haven't worked on that, so
uh,
we not confirm.
maybe I guess if Lucas would be able to share some details on that because we have
Okay.
not touched interest so far.
Yes.
Okay.
And if we receive anything for Go Anywhere or like Spectical appears, we'll involve you guys from now onwards, and that will cover our incident management part as well. Okay.
Okay. So we do have a session for tomorrow. If these things are covered, I mean,
Means I guess
we are done.
on
We are
KTR
done with.
KT part we are done. But if you have any queries, you can reach out to us. Okay. Or if
Okay.
you have any questions. So on KT part we are done. And now we'll involve you if we get anything. After having some experience or knowledge related to the portal, you can get access to them, and then we'll start our set of support.
Okay.
Okay.
So this
So
part we'll be
he
covering tomorrow, Shubham.
Tomorrow, yeah, we can. If we receive anything, then we can show it to them.
Okay.
Okay. As Shubham, can we not utilize tomorrow's session? Maybe we can utilize or use already the past instance changes.
Yes, that we can utilize, but I am means looking for something new, or because they will get to know means step to step how
That
we
is
do the
okay.
things.
Yeah,
But
that's okay.
those are
Just
already closed and in place. Suppose that we receive a request for EL creation, so that EL is already created. It is in the system.
mm,
So I am thinking of showing them means step by step because we have already show it to them means how the EL is created, but now we want to show them from very beginning, from very scratch, how we do the things. So that's why means I'm thinking of it. And that part we have already shown Hitendra, like how EL is created, how ELs are monitored and managed, and also on certificate part I also send the means from very scratch I want to show them how to acknowledge the request, how to get in touch with the user, what questions we raise with them. Then based on their reply, how we may proceed.
Yeah, that is something which we will cover in the shadowing part, second and seven.
Yes, so in tomorrow's session
Family.
we can show them the incident and
Mhm.
the
At least we can use and utilize these sessions. Maybe past instance, what kind of incidents
yes,
we are getting,
we
what
can do
changes
it.
we have
Sure.
made. So just take them through like what we have done in the past. And in case we will get anything new, then definitely we will go discuss for your
Okay, okay then.
suggestion. Yeah.
Definitely we'll do that for sure.
Okay.
Okay then.
Okay, thanks,
Um,
thanks, Hitendra,
yeah.
Thank you.
and thanks,
Yes, Sachin,
Sachin.
you were saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that one point regarding app UX. We covered app UX yesterday. Just one point that I wanted to highlight is so those activities wherein I mentioned that uh, remove the expired certificates. Correct. Let me
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
go back to the portal. Uh, 1, 3 certificates. Yeah. So over here, when I mentioned yesterday about this activity where we at certain periods we have to remove all the certificates that are in expired state so as to maintain the count of the certificates that can be managed within AppWex. So when that particular activity is coming to us, is being tracked basically as part of Helion Sprint. So there is this Jira tool where Lucas creates a story for that particular activity, and that is assigned to us. So this
Uh-huh.
activity is managed over there, and this doesn't come as any ServiceNow request or incident as such. So because this is kind of an internal activity that is being managed within our PKI team. So
Okay,
this is
and
not coming to us any ServiceNow activity, and it is managed on the as part of the Helion Sprint activities.
okay, and do we have any defined threshold for that? Like,
Yes. So ideally, it would be discussed with Lucas. Lucas will be discussing with you initially when that story would be created, and definitely would be taking our suggestion as well. How many days we would be requiring, but ideally this would be assigned some 12 hours or 24 hours, I guess. 24 hours from the Helion story points point of view.
okay,
Yeah. So yeah, from activity point, the whatever we covered yesterday, that is the same. So just wanted to highlight that point where I didn't spoke about that sprint part yesterday.
okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. When I was asking about threshold, like
Mhm.
2500 is what we can 2500 is the count what we can manage from this console, right?
Mhm.
So as of now on screen, I see it's 2370,
Mhm.
2370 certificates. So that is what is being managed.
Mhm.
So is there a upper threshold basis which this Jira ticket is created?
No, no, no. This Jira activity is the story that is created, that is manually created by Lucas. So there is a process for that sprint activities wherein there would be regular calls, and in those calls it would be discussed what activities are going to be covered as part of that sprint, Helion sprint. So one of these activities is this certificate cleanup activity that we call it. All the expired certificates are cleaned up. So this is called as a certificate cleanup activity basically, and that is tracked over there as such. It is not any ticket or anything that is assigned to us by someone else.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's the only point I just wanted to highlight because just came to my mind and I missed it yesterday.
Okay.
All right, then I guess we can wrap up the call.
Okay, then we'll get in touch with tomorrow. Thank you.
Uh,
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Sugan. Thanks, Sachin.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Hitesh. Thanks, Kaushik.